It's a very warm welcome to the 2025 Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice, and my name is James Stee, and I'm delighted to bring you the 13th edition of the Mattoni České Budějovice Half Marathon, a World Athletics road race labeled event, a European Athletics certified course. The wonderful city in the South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic sees over 4,500 participants across the various distances, brought to you by the brilliant RunCzech team. The half marathon course serves as the second of the four races in the Euro Hero Series. Ukrainian Marina Nemchenko back to defend her title from last year. The time of 71 minutes and 26 seconds. And German Sebastian Hendel will look to go to the top spot again in the men's race. It is a flat course with just 19 meters of elevation, the start and finish by the main city square. They'll be heading out over the Volta River and then doubling back on themselves a few times, giving the masses out on the course a chance to see the elites. And likewise, this beautiful city, occupant of 97,000, will be either running or on the streets cheering. There's different music points out on the course, and they also cross over the river to the Maltese River as well. So lots of different points on the course for cheering. This beautiful city, also known for its Budweiser, but a brewery as well, and the University of South Bohemia. So expect lots of noise here, expect lots out on the streets today. And as I said, we have those elite European fields battling out for the European Heroes titles. Remember, this is the second of the four race series. So times, and they will go into the calculator to then give their best times over two races in the four race series to crown our champions. And we started off 2 weeks ago. We had quality fields in both men's and women's races, following on from that super excitement at the Karlovy Festival of Running, and expecting likewise today. You can see blue skies, and it is local time coming up to 10 to 7. And as in we have with Karlovy, a evening start time for this half marathon distance. In a program today that's already seen the Vodafone 5K distance run by lots of our runners out on the streets, and also the ever popular family runs and Bambino runs. Something that RunCzech love to support in each of their events is giving something for the whole family. And that's why it really is a festival here. So again, if you're joining us this evening, welcome to Mattoni Running Festival České Budějovice 2025. And we are just around about 10 minutes away from setting our elite and masses on their way over the half marathon distance. And that will be 13.1 miles, 21.1 kilometers. And as the course map shows, lots of opportunities to double back and lots of opportunities for the masses to see the elites. And as I said, not too much elevation out on the course as well. And the conditions today, little breezy, but fairly conducive, hopefully, to course records. I mentioned that 71.26 by last year's female champion, Nemchenko. The men's course record, European-wise, is 63.02. That's one, again, that our stellar elite field of male athletes will have half an eye on, as we will get a chance to take you through the top kind of 6 runners, 3 men, 3 women in the walkthrough. But lots of planning's gone into this festival, being that this is a small and compact city centre. The flow of traffic, the flow of organising such a mass event in what is another wonderful location on this Saturday afternoon into the evening in the Czech Republic. Wherever you're joining us from around the world, welcome. And you can also download the RunCzech app as well to check on each of your runners. The 5K, 10K, 15K splits will come up on there as well. And you'll be able to get a projected time on their finishing this later this evening. Expecting to challenge that 71 minutes in the elite women's, and we'd love to go inside 63 minutes in the elite men's. The masses will be out there a little bit longer as well. There's different music points out on the course, as well as drink stations to make sure they stay as hydrated as possible. And you can see the crowd here is building in this historic town centre that has been pretty busy throughout today with the different events that have taken place. And there's someone that will be a busy man as always, Carlo Caballo, who is the chief exec, the founder of RunCzech and the Euro Heroes. He will be someone that will just be doing everything to ensure the race is another huge success. And the unbelievable to think that this year, the 2025 Prague Marathon will celebrate its 30th anniversary. But RunCzech have played such a pivotal role in European and world distance running. Their events have staged 10 world records, and the Euro Heroes series has really given a platform and a opportunity for European runners to battle it out on the streets of these superb courses, challenging for prize money, not just this evening, but going into the race series. So again, following on from Carlovare a few weeks ago, put this on your bucket list of places to visit, of beautiful locations. I can see Natasha Wilson there on the screen just in front of us. She's a Welsh athlete that I know much about, having seen her progression from the junior ranks, spent a lot of time out in the US, has come back a few years ago and run very well. She held the Welsh marathon record from Valencia. That's 2:26 and 2:27. She set another solid time last year coming back from injury. So look out for Natasha Wilson, Natasha Cochran. And there in the blue and white stripes. Disappointed with his run 2 weeks ago, Carlovare. He was probably not quite in the shape he would have wanted to have been in. But he's still the fastest man in the field. But Sebastian Hendel, the defending champion, the German athlete that would love to go quicker. And there's Patrick Weber, who is the first athlete to be introduced to the crowd. A three-time national champion, 63 minutes and 24 seconds from Valencia last year in 2024. So the local Czech runner would love to follow Damien Ridge, who won in Carlovare, onto that top spot or even onto the top three spots of the podium. Now next, another Czech runner. This is an athlete that, again, very consistent on the national road running scene. Barbara Hrnčíková, again, getting great local support and will do for all of this course as she takes her line up on the course on that start line. And it's a chance now for Paula Serafau, the fastest athlete on paper, 61:21 last year in Ghent, 2:17 marathon in Seville. He would have wanted to have gone quicker than that. Now, here is the defending champion from Ukraine, the record holder as well. Mariana Nemchenko is the name to look out for. Always look out for runners that have had previous success. They know the course. They know how to manage their expectations on various points. As the next runner, the defending champion in the men's, the two-time overall champion in the Euro Heroes series as well, Sebastian Hendel. And again, wearing number 1. He's used to pressure. A very, very accomplished runner. He nailed a marathon last year, 2:07:33 in Berlin for 17th in September. Two-time national champion. And talking about national champions, this runner, very decorated. Again, German athlete, a European silver medalist on the track and cross country. Alana Ray is the athlete wearing number 11, the fastest female athlete on the start with that 68 minutes and 42 seconds set in 2023 in Seville. So two very strong German athletes we expect to be to the fore. It'll be interesting to see whether Alana Ray is in the shape she's been in over the last or previous few years. Probably not been where she's wanted to be in the last couple of years. But I tell you what, class is permanent, and her experience on the European cross-country scene, on the European track and road scene. If there's someone, again, that has all the experience, all the tools, and if you've run 68 minutes a half marathon, then you know exactly how to cover this distance. And a very experienced runner. As in the rest of the field that we have lining up in the elite men's and elite women's fields. Look out for Nora Szabo, very impressive. And the Mattoni Caravaro half marathon 2 weeks ago. The Hungarian 5-time national champion. You can see her there in the red with the bid saying Nora. She was dominant 2 weeks ago. Fabulous bit of running. And very, very impressive that day. Second that day was Mastrel Sola, the athlete from Spain. An athlete, again, who's been a national champion. The National Championships of Spain is a hard-fought title. She was on that second spot on the podium, very used to these races as well. Very consistent performer. So that kind of shows the strength and depth in the elite women's race. I've already mentioned Natasha Wilson as well, the Welsh athlete who were 7th place in Hamburg in April with that 2:27, a return to form for Natasha Wilson. And the Welsh athlete, again, plagued by injuries and just bad luck over the last couple of years. 12th in the Commonwealth Games back in 2022. But if she's recovered from that marathon in April, look out for Natasha Wilson. As the field are lining up ahead, probably around about 90 seconds away from getting them over the start line. And then the masses will do the same behind. You'll hear the beat of the chips as they go underneath that start gantry. And there's just a bit of man management, making sure that the elites, the masses, are systematically processed over that start line. Again, the RunCzech team, the organisation behind the scenes, the local organisation committee, the sponsors, the suppliers do such a great job. And again, they've done so many countless hours behind the scene here. And again, this World Athletics certified race is going to set its thousands of runners on their way. And we can't wait to see who is going to be our champions for 2025. So it's just last minute preparations as they get themselves ready. The starter of the race, Thomas Stelleret, the commercial director for 5 unique races, are out in front at the moment in the elite men's. So let's take you through. Looks like Bohdan Horaski is the athlete that is the Ukrainian. He's 64.32 best and 6-time national champion and recent national champion over the half marathon distance. So he's straight to the fore. Going down the list, doing the research for this, the number of national champions is just absolutely phenomenal. And there's another athlete that is very well decorated and on the national and international scene, Maloka Masfla. He was very impressive in 4th place in Kalvari 2 weeks ago, the Ukrainian. So he ran his personal best here 12 months ago. So look out for Masfla. He's the athlete in the orange, just to the back of that group on the right-hand side of the screen. But it is Sebastian Hendel. He's got a 61.52 lifetime best and champion last year in 63 minutes. And that kind of gives him an idea that if he can improve just a fraction of what he did last year, then that course record, that 63.02 set by Yazin Vanek in 2019, the Italian. That is the record that is going to be under threat today. But it looks like 2 groups have formed so far in the opening mile of the race. And it is the German athlete, Hendel. That's super impressive, 2:07 marathon. And he's a former national track champion over 5 and 10,000 meters. So making a very good transition to the marathon. And that marathon in September. He has run a few races since, and just a 31 10K, which wasn't near his best, but he did do the Adizero Road to Records race where he ran 29.33, an event that the RunCzech team kind of kick-started during COVID. So that's one that they look with much pride. Adidas headquarters, and Adidas, one of the titles and supporters of RunCzech and their races. So they'll be delighted. Hendel is on the front in the opening exchanges. They've passed way inside the first mile. The blue and white, if you're wondering what those colours are, they're the colours of St Mary's University of Palos Sarafel, an athlete that has gone through the junior ranks. He's an Enfield athlete when he was younger. Him and his twin were very successful on the junior stage and made it to the likes of European Under-20, European Under-23 cross-country championships. Sarafel, and then transitioned onto the road very well. 28 minutes for 10K and 2:61-minute clock-ins for half marathon. And probably be slightly disappointed that only translated to a 2:17 marathon in Seville. And he probably hadn't fully recovered 2 weeks ago. He looked a little bit tired on the streets of Karlovy, but looked a lot better today. Only 66 minutes that night. And that also was an evening start time. So again, if you're joining us from around the world, Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice 2025. And this is an evening start time, 7 o'clock local time in this wonderful South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. Very compact city centre here. And the kind of landmarks and the backdrop is a wonderful mix of cultural architects and the new trying to edge its way in as well, but pretty much well protected. The University of South Bohemia here as well, and I might have mentioned as well, if you're a beer fan, the Budweiser Brewery as well is located here. Historic city centre, well preserved and protected as part of the urban monument reservation as well. So only a certain amount of building can take place here, but it is the largest city in the region, political and commercial capital. And tonight it is the capital of running the half marathon distance and being a festival of fitness and health with those 5K races earlier today, those junior races, Bambino races and family fun runs as well. But you can see the sun is beating down. It is still fairly warm here at 7 o'clock. And the runners themselves might take advantage of the different drink stations out on the course. The masses definitely will. There's a little look over the shoulder. That is Carlo Kachug. That's the Netherlands athlete in the orange. So he's a very experienced athlete. 7th in European 10,000 meter championships back in 2012. So talk about longevity. And he's, again, someone that would love to be very competitive today. 61.53 lifetime best. That does go back to 2013. That was probably the purple period of his running. And interesting, this year he's already ran a 2:16 marathon. That was in May in Leiden. So for 4th place. And also ran in the Olympics last year, 58th place in the Paris Olympic Games. So an Olympian in this main pack. There's Hendel there at the front, as I think we've had someone dropped off that group already. We have. It is Molokola. Mesfet has just been dropped off, the Ukrainian, who we expected to be there a little bit earlier. And 3rd place last year. He was pretty much there or thereabouts. The whole of Karlovy half marathon and towards the latter stages, just dropping off for 4th place. So it looks like 4 athletes now just starting to pull away. And I can see that is Bahan Hodgkrasi, the athlete that was 64 lifetime best, and that was run recently. The Ukrainian. So one Ukrainian's been dropped from this group. The other on the right-hand side of the screen is just sat there looking very controlled, as there's a big chase group you can see with just the athlete in between that, Meshva. And there we go back, I think, to the potential chasing group as well, as they're biding their time. That could even be back to the elite women, just to see where they are in relation to the men up front. They will get the opportunity to be tucked in with some of these very good standard club runners as well, running around about the 70-minute mark. So we're looking at those course records. And for men, we're looking at, well, inside 3 minutes per kilometre. That would give us the magical sub 63 minutes, 2:59s to be precise. For the women to break the course record, 71.20 paces, 3:23 per kilometre. So for women 5K split, we're looking at 16:54. And for men, we're looking at something around about the 14:55, 14:56 mark if we're going to challenge those course records. And the early pace is definitely aggressive. And that's something that we definitely wanted to see. I can see Szabo there in the red, just at the back of that group. So Szabo, very experienced Hungarian athlete who's also herself transitioned to the marathon very well, 2:25. And that was just shown evidently last 2 weeks ago in the Karlovy half marathon. She was just dominant from the start. And that 2:25 was set in December. So she showed really good recovery from that, as it looked like Alana Ray was, I think, tucked into that lead group, or making the lead group herself, as we're back to the elite men. So we're already covered 11 minutes. So we're expecting them to come towards that 4 kilometre mark, and then the first of our official splits. That will be the 5 kilometre point. And the athletes will be looking to be inside 15 minutes through that opening exchange. And Sebastian Hendel knows how to win here. He knows how to win the Euro Heroes series as well. Such an experienced athlete, and that excitement in Germany with his 2:07 marathon clocking. And I think they're expecting that he could potentially go even faster. So it's Alana Ray on the right-hand side of the screen in the yellow trainers, and such an economical runner. And that really comes from years of running so well over the cross-country surface. She was dominant at different age groups, and then translating that, a European under-23 10,000 meter champion, a multiple medalist over 5,000 meters at those age groups as well. And then always good to see an athlete translate that to senior level as well. That bronze medal would have been hard fought for at senior level. And that was in 2018. And the last couple of years, just 33 10K last year and 34 minutes for 10K this year. So I think everyone would will her to be back in her prime shape. And also it would be fantastic. I would have thought she's probably got half an eye on the marathon distance, as that's often now the translation of moving up distances away from the track. So Serafel on the back of this group in the sky blue and white stripes. The athlete that is very experienced on the road. He's looking for a return to form today. And that lead group of 4 is a strong lead group of 4 at the moment. So Hindel leading. You can see Hadoradsky is the athlete on his right in the black singlet. Khalid Kachug is the athlete just out of shot right now, just behind Hendel. So he's, again, a winner of a previous RunCzech event, won in that sprint finish. The Karlovy, they were showing highlights this year, and it was a dip on the line. It was the closest of finishes. So again, in terms of experience, in terms of someone that has a real kind of change of speed as well, a 5-time national champion, the Dutch athlete there in the orange, not his national singlet, but it suits his nationalism with that bright orange singlet. And the time as they go down now the Volcha River to their right-hand side, the green, so much lovely outdoor space for families and cycling. It's very much an outdoor lifestyle here, and you can see people just grabbing a little bit of shade, and the runners get a little bit of shade from the trees as well to their right-hand side of them as they're coming down towards the first 5K split. So again, we're thinking if we can be around that sub 15-minute mark, then the organisers would love to see them challenge the course record. So, so many nationalities represented
5K
today.
for men.
As I can hear a shout, there you go, 5K split. It's going to be just around the 15-minute mark. So I think unofficially about 15:02, 15:03. So maybe just slightly shy of course record pace. But given that there are some faster parts of the course and also 4 athletes looking very good at the moment, you can see the gap back is around about 15 seconds to measure. So, and then this big group. And looking at the time check, they're running just inside 5 minutes per mile. Big group, the Josh Lung, another of the British athletes in that group. I think the likes of Sir John was in that, and Homelak, Gabi Kasali. We'll get an update of that chase group behind and what the exact gap is as well. So a little move across to make sure they get a drink on board. Not always a necessity over the half marathon distance, but given that it is fairly warm tonight, or warmish, that they would just want to make sure that they stay hydrated. Interesting. Hendel gets his own drinks bottle. Now that's an experienced marathon runner right there that doesn't mind running this type of pace. Remember, the 3 minutes per kilometer is almost what he ran for that entire marathon. So he's very used to picking up drinks bottles, very used to running at this speed, and it's great practice as well. So back to the elite women's, we can see Natasha Wilson at the back of that group, the British athlete, the Welsh athlete, tracking Alana Ray there. So and Ray just almost signaling to the men, just don't trip my heels. Now this is interesting to see. The women have gone through inside course record pace. So around about 16:49 through that opening 5K. So that would bring them inside 71 minutes. So course record pace wise, the men are just outside opening 5 kilometers. And it looks as if the women are just inside their projected splits needed over the first 5K. And Alana Ray is just given a direction. She doesn't want her heels to be clipped. And looks like Nora Zabel is just behind her. So it's a really quality women's field. And I think that was also at the back of that group was the Spanish athlete Sola. So we've got lots of nationalities represented here in the elite women's race, as in the men's as well. We've got Dutch athlete in the lead now. We've got Ukraine, Britain, and Germany all at the front of the elite men's race. The elite women's race represented Germany, Britain. I think there's obviously Hungary in there. So there's a few other nationalities that we tucked away. The Ukrainian, Nemchenko also. She's going to give a good defense of her title today. But interesting that the pace being pushed on by the athlete that is an Olympian through 6 kilometers. Tahug, who's decided at 39 that he's not going to hang around, that he's off the back of a marathon just a few weeks ago, that strength will be something in his legs, and I'm pretty sure that he will be making the early pace as quick as could be. So split time's coming up in front of me, officially coming up as 15:06. I think looked like it might have been just a fraction quicker than that in front of us, but 15:06 and that group behind. And there it is on the official leaderboard. And that's Sebastian Handel was leading at that point, but he's now back in fourth just a kilometre and a half later, because the race is kicking off now. So Tahug is pushing that pace. And the athlete, the Ukrainian, Brodsky, is just deciding now that he's got to stay in that group and wants to be in the top 2. And I think that's something that athletes often know themselves, that they're not going to sit back. And Paolo Sorofel is the athlete in 3rd place in blue. So we kind of expected the lead group to sit and relax a little bit longer. But I think they've decided to push it on, decided to, well, make sure that they're not hanging around and dropping off maybe even that course record pace. It could be something that is at the back of the athletes' minds. And the Podolski there going into the lead, and just looking over his shoulder, almost a reluctant leader. Who there in the orange, and Hendel, who took his drink, looked very relaxed, looked very controlled in the early stages. So whether he now will try and pull that gap back. But we are in still the very early stages of the race. And, well, the athlete with the fastest, well, not the fastest lifetime best. So 60-40 lifetime best. So for the athlete from the Ukraine. So no kind of surprise for that national title that he ran and won in 64 minutes. But the athlete with a personal best of 60-40. So that is Podolski. That was from the World Championships in 2020. And so straight to the fore. And someone that is an experienced performer. And the recent national champion, third over the third over the 10K distance as well. So not afraid to venture on to the track over the last few weeks, and his experience as well. As now the athletes in the elite women's race gather themselves as they've passed 5 kilometers inside course record pace. Alana Ray and tucked again just behind one of the elite men to the right-hand side now of the screen. And their opening 5K was a good indication that we've got a very strong elite women's field here. And Nora Zabel, and it was Macharenko, the other athlete that we kind of thought, in talking to a few people, that might be someone that could be very competitive today. 71.35 in Valencia for another of the Ukrainian athletes, and she ran 32.49, third place in the B race at the European Cup just a few weeks ago. So we get another athlete coming from the track and in that lead group, and also third place finisher from Karlovy. That's Victoria Kolhanskaya, who again is just a consistent performer. So we've got 3 Ukrainians in that lead group, because Nemchenko, the defending champion, is or was in that lead group, but going to the splits, she was there early on, has actually dropped off. So the defending champion, Nemchenko, is not in that lead group. So that's the first surprise of today in the elite women's race. So it's 5 athletes clear, and there's actually a gap back to Klochanta, who's about 30 seconds adrift of that group. So it is Alana Ray, Nora Zabel, Natasha Wilson, Maria Machenko, and Michelle Sola are the 5 athletes that are clear in the elite women's race. In the elite men's race, 2 athletes starting to pull away. And this is Budin Ivan Horodsky, who's the Ukrainian athlete, bounding along in second place, just behind Khalid Chuig, who's the Dutch athlete, in the lead. Both of these athletes very experienced, and you can see the red of Sebastian Hendel, who's trying to chase with Palos Sarafel on his heels in that white and blue striped St. Mary's top. But it is the Dutch athlete, it's the Ukrainian athlete that are starting to pull away. And the experience of these two of the most experienced athletes that we have lining up today. 2 athletes that, well, it's no surprise they're at the fore in the opening exchanges. The drinks are taken. Mattoni will have their water out, hydrating their athletes. We had the home of Mattoni in Karlovy, and so They're making sure that they're staying hydrated, the athletes, as the masses will, as they come through in their numbers today. So there's lots of music stops out on the course. So big numbers of runners today, sold out again this year. Great to see the series of running races is so popular across the board. And that's not just in the Czech Republic, but across Europe, across the world. I think I mentioned 2 weeks ago, 1.1 million people signing up for the London Marathon next year. And we're in what seems to be the midst of a running boom. So if you're sat back wherever you are in the world, if it's your Saturday evening, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the coverage, the fantastic coverage. RunCzech and the team love to get these European heroes out there on the screens and to give a showcase for the best of elite men and elite women as they look to gather points towards the Run Hero series. So this is the Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice 2025. And you can just see wonderful city centre, beautiful architecture here in this South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. And 97,000 people live in and around the city. And I think most of them are either on the streets right now running or on the course side cheering on the runners. And don't forget, they will double back, so they get some great support from the crowd of runners, the masses that it took multiple minutes to get them over the start line in the wonderful old city centre. So some of the landmarks, the City Hall kind of stands out as one of the bigger, more dominant kind of Bohemian structures on this landscape. But it is protected. There's a lot of planning and urban protection for these types of cities in the Czech Republic. And that really does then maintain and keep their beauty and quality. But now we are back to the elite women. And you can see that's Sola, I think, in the pink outfit in the center of the screen. And I think that is Nora Zabel, who again looking very strong as well in the middle of that group. So those 5 athletes that had moved away. And I still think it's those 5 athletes. And Lana Ray now may be struggling. Yes, Alana Ray. So that's the second big talking point of the elite women's race. Alana Ray, who again was pushing on the pace all the way through the first 25 minutes, is the first of that 5 athletes to drop off. And I'm really surprised by that, because she almost looked like she was back to her best, looked like she was setting her stall out as if to say, I'm back to my best. But it is Zabo, Wilson, it is Mazarenko and Sola are the athletes now that are starting to pull away. And Alana Ray is just dropping off that. But again, whether it's just a little bit of a pause, they did go through a drink station. It did look like the gap was growing. It looks like it's about 10, even 20 meters back to the such well-decorated Alana Ray, the German athlete, multiple European medalist, just so good on every surface. They're only coming to this year with a 34-minute 10K clocking. So maybe that is the shape she's in, having gone through that first 5 kilometer in about 33:40 10K pace. So the 2 athletes in the elite men's race. And the next split we will get is the 10K split. Have we gone inside 3 minutes per kilometer for some of these last few kilometers? And that's what we need. We're looking for a split around about 29:51 if we are going to challenge that course record. Or it's a case of it's a race between these 2. And don't rule out anyone from the back group as well that could stake a challenge, could make their way back to this leading duo at the moment. Remember the winning time last year, Sebastian Handel's 63:38. And these 2 almost not settling. They don't want the other to settle too far or too long at the front, which is going to help them in terms of pushing the pace on. It's definitely going to help them in terms of the chase group behind. I think that's one thing that they, once they do have a gap, they won't want to hang on. They won't want to wait too long. And I think the experience of Podorowski, who's such a strong athlete, the Ukrainian, who's in second place, but he doesn't mind taking the lead either as well. But is Khalid Chaoug, who's, again, just someone that has such experience at the age of 39. He knows where to put himself in terms of training. There would have been recovery from that marathon just a few weeks ago in Leiden.
Okay.
He's raced a fair amount over different distances as well. He's definitely your old school type of runner who is not afraid to get out on different surfaces. There's 10 kilometers and it's inside 13:20, but outside the sub 30 that we needed for the record. So probably more around about the 64-minute pace right now. And that's a head-to-head race now, because I'm looking back and I can't see Hendel. We'll wait for the official splits. So we'll wait again to see whether there's a change in that chasing group. Yeah, I think it is Hendel still in third place, but that gap looks like it's definitely grown. And looks as if the Ukrainian and the Dutch athletes are pulling away. And I wonder whether that gap is just going to continue to grow as these two athletes are not having to fight too much elevation on the course, just 19 meters in total on the total of the course. And that's one thing that runners definitely look out for, is making sure that there's slight inclines on the course. And again, they would have done their homework. They're going to know where they need to push and where they need to hold back as well. So some experienced runners are in their wake at the moment. And the national record holder for the Ukraine is looking really good. Bohan Ivan Podorowski, and you can see there on the screen. So the split, 30 minutes and 18 seconds. So that gap now is 25 seconds. Back to, I think that's Palaserofo. Ignore the name on the screen there. It's definitely back to the elite women. And maybe just another slight gap back now to Natasha Wilson, just on the back of that group now. The Welsh athlete, the British athlete, who is maybe just 5-10 meters off the back of Nora Szabo. Szabo in the red and looking to, well, Sola is in that kind of pink purple outfit, and Mazarenko in the black singlet. Those two athletes are side by side, with Szabo just a couple of meters behind. And now Natasha Wilson has just dropped off that group. And, well, Wilson will be looking just to stay focused. She's such an experienced runner and only recently went full-time. She was working some big hours. If you do follow her, she was getting up at 5 a.m. or even earlier than that sometimes to run some phenomenal marathon sessions. And, well, testament to her having run the time she did. But I think deciding that kind of lifestyle, maybe it's the rest and recovery. I think some athletes will definitely talk about being the game changer in terms of being able to progress their running. But it's one thing, obviously, doing the training, but it's also making sure that you recover as well. It's tough out there. The mileage that needs to go into the legs and the distance that needs to go in. So the athletes now in this elite women's race, and it is Wilson that's dropped off. So we're down to 3 now. Szabo at the back of that group. They've still got the company of these very good national standard athletes around them, running the best part of 70 to 71 minutes. And again, we will get confirmation of the split times for the elite women through 10 kilometers, because they're going to be at that point as well. But the surprise, Alana Ray has dropped off that group. So has Natasha Wilson. But it is the men's race that's 2 athletes now pushing the pace on and continuing to run just over 3 minutes per kilometer. So Bohdan Ivan Podorowski is the Ukrainian at the front in that black Adidas singlet, who's just locked in focus with the orange vest behind him. Khalid Chahoug, who's again just slightly different in running styles. That's always a fascination, and trying to maximize obviously the shoe technology now in terms of that reaction off the ground with the carbon and foam plated shoes. So there's the leaderboard, and there's the gaps back. You can see that it is Hendel in third place. So again, ignore that name. It's definitely the German athlete, but it's 25 seconds. Palasorofel, another 15 seconds adrift. Meshver, he's now a minute off that lead group, as is Patrick Weber. You see Josh Lunn also tucked in that group with Lashin Pochiki and Shaskiel as well. So there's a big group. Garvel is the other athlete, I think, tucked into that big group. That's the Romanian athlete, another former national record holder and national champion. So so many nationalities represented in that top 10 in the elite men's race. But it is Ukraine and the Netherlands out in front as they've passed 10 kilometers, 35 minutes of running. So way over halfway. A little bit of a U-turn on the legs. So a bit of acceleration out of those turns. And the pace and strength of the runners now, as they will get a bit of a time check, a little bit of a visual on the runners in the third, fourth, and fifth. So that will give them a little bit of confidence. You see Handel there going through in third place. So that again will be confidence to these athletes again for being on the podium. Also those Euro Hero points as well. So that series set up in 2018 to support European runners and to make sure that there was a pathway, European Athletics and RunCzech, and the mind and well, the support of the RunCzech team to get this off the ground. And it's so well supported as well, and showcasing European athletes and making sure it's European only start lists and times they're chasing. And these athletes have stepped up to some big things on the European scene and on the full international scene as well. And again, just providing the sort of role models. And Damien Reach was such a good winner of Karlovy a few weeks ago. And the fact that the European 12th place finisher in the steeplechase and from that European Championships in Rome, and he was even second Czech runner home. Thomas Harbeta was the first athlete home in 8:21 national record, and Damien Vic was second that day in 8:22. Race today, interesting Vic. So going from the half marathon Karlovy to out to Nairobi in Kenya for World Athletics Series event, taking 8th place, 8:53. But that was at slight altitude. So look out for Damien Vic, such a popular victor 2 weeks ago in the Mattoni Karlovy half marathon. And you can see some of these athletes exchanging in the relay race. So they're going over 5 kilometers. They weren't just stopping and taking a break or taking a rest or calling it a day and heading to the brewery. Their teammates were taking over. So you can see the gap back to Wilson there, as there's a gap in the elite men's race. Interesting. So a look of the watch, and Podorowski there is having now just to stay focused on the leader. Khalid Chahoug is now starting to turn the pace, turn the screw. He's a strong runner, such an experienced athlete, and you can see him just take a little look over his shoulder. You could just maybe just checking to see if the hard few kilometers that he's definitely tried to put in. And Chahoug is, well, he's just a robust athlete that goes from race to race, marathon, half marathon, 10K. It doesn't matter what distance it is. And he's a winner of RunCzech races in the past, not afraid to leave it to a sprint finish. But today, deciding the Olympic athlete that he's going to push this pace, push it on. The former 7th place finisher at the European Championships over 10 kilometers in 2012. And this again is about longevity. I said earlier, his personal best goes back to 2013. So 12 years later, He's still at the forefront of the European scene of distance running. And again, just pushing the pace on. And I think we're getting closer now to that 3 minutes per kilometre. But I do think the course record, Yasin RunCzech's course record from 2019, 63:02. I don't think we're going to get that today unless there's a real acceleration as we've gone over the 40-minute mark here. So again, welcome if you're joining us from around the world. We're delighted you joined us, the RunCzech team, all of these sponsors, the suppliers, the team that make this event what it is. You're joining us on this wonderful evening in this South Bohemian region, this beautiful city. It is the Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice 2025. And this is the half marathon distance that these athletes are going over right now. Had 5 kilometers, the Vodafone 5-kilometer race earlier today. And we also had the family fun run and the Bambino race as well. So it's just going from strength to strength each year. The 13th edition of this race, and a race and series as well. The race series, the RunCzech series of 5 races around the different regions in the Czech Republic. That if you get all the medals, then you get another shiny medal. They all come together, a bit like the super half medals. And but this today, for these athletes here, this is not about medals. It's about, there's also prize money. It's about points. But I tell you what, it is about a beautiful glass trophy for the winner, the Edgito, who make the trophies for the Tour de France. We had first viewing or another viewing of how great they look in the Mattoni Karlovy half marathon, and the sign of the beautiful glass trophies for the top 3 in the elite men's, but also the top 3 Czech runners home in men's and women's races. So back with another fantastic split screen here in the what is a wonderful region of the Czech Republic, České Budějovice half marathon. So sponsored by Mattoni, keeping runners hydrated. The natural spring water is dating back to the 18th century and hydrating our runners out on the course. It will be on the tables of restaurants up and down pretty much every region and city and town in the Czech Republic, as the runners now make sure they get their Mattoni water on board. There's the 10K split, and you can see there Alana Ray, a big drop off. She lost a minute over probably the best part of 2 miles, even maybe even less than that. And Natasha Wilson on that screen as well, dropping off by 5 seconds, but that was around about 8 minutes ago. So I think that gap has grown even more. 34 minutes. So that means that we've just dropped outside course record pace. We're operating still inside 72-minute pace, but it looks like potentially the course record pace is slightly slowed from the earlier exchanges. And Nemchenko, who's somewhere down the road, and she won't be on top spot of the podium, but she may keep her course record, her European course record. So on the left, this has been a dominant last 2 kilometers by the Dutch athlete Khalid Chahouk, who's moving strongly off the ground. Can't quite hear it, but the tapping of the ground of those carbon shoes, it's so distinctive up and down any road race in Europe and the world, as he takes a gel on board. So again, runners probably look at around about the 40-minute mark as those that run half marathons for getting a gel on board. And that's probably as much as it might even have some caffeine in, or to make sure that it just gets that extra boost. And the fact that Chahouk has come off the back of a marathon as well. He'll be very used to drink stops, very used to taking gels on board. A little check of the watch. Coming up to 44 minutes of running. The next check will be the 15-kilometer split. So 30-18 through 10 kilometers. So that was a 15-16 split. And there you go, 15 kilometers on the screen. So that's, they haven't passed it yet. They've got to double back. So if you were thinking that was a very quick 5-kilometer split, they've still got to go up, make the turn around on themselves, and then over the 15-kilometer marker there. You can see with the Mattoni and Adidas signage on it as well. So there goes Chahug round the turn point. As he will get a little check on his left. He won't want to give too many eyes to Podorowski, who knows that, well, he's got to keep that almost invisible bit of string as tight as possible. It's always difficult when a runner starts to pull away. You can just see the gap just starting to grow as this is the 15-kilometer mark. And it's around about 45, 35. So very similar last 5K split. It's inside the 15-20 mark. And probably 9 seconds on my count back to the chaser behind. So into the last 6.1 kilometers. So inside 4 miles to go. And you can see, I think Josh Lung's running well. Maybe Josh Lung has moved into, could well be into that top 5 position. So he was 31.27 at 10K. But Josh Lung, the athlete based in Leeds, formerly down in Cardiff, who's got a lifetime best in the 64.54 from Houston back in 2022. But if he was to get towards the podium today, that would probably be his best ever run. And he's definitely paced it well in the early stages. Looked like Serafalt was maybe going back as Mattoni Walter is going to be gratefully taken down there. So Hendel going through. Now, was that in 4th place or 3rd place? Because I think the red of Josh Lung was chasing. So we'll get confirmation of that split as well when it comes up on the screen. So the split time on the screen, I think he's given the split when they went past. It's going up as 44.31. So I think that might be the split when they went past it opposite, because on my time check, it was 45.35. So that gap was only 9 seconds. So I think Hodorowski's is the correct time. That's 45.15. And then in 3rd place, I think that is still Hendel chasing down. So this now, the latter stages as Paolo Serafalt going through. He looks tired again, 47.52. Not in the 61-minute shape that we've seen Paolo Serafalt in previously, but he'd be really trying to put down a time again for those Euro Hero points. So he'll be his 2 races of the series, and whether we see him again on the streets looking to improve those. But it is the leader right now. Khalid Chahug is leading, and you can see grimacing, focusing on the job in hand. And they're doubling back and getting a visual on the positions behind. But he's really probably only thinking about kilometre to kilometre. So having gone through, I think, 10 miles now, we'll get an update of those splits as well. I think maybe Josh Lung was in 3rd place. So Josh Lung going through, I think, in 46.15. So Josh Lung at the moment having the race of his life, who's around about his lifetime personal best pace. So 65 minutes exactly would be 46.13 at 15 kilometers. And he's not far off that. So I think he went through in front of Hendel. So on the double back, you can see the red vest of Josh Lung going through. So on kind of personal best, he was down on 15th place on the start list. But at the moment, I think in 3rd place. But one of the more, if it was about experience and racecraft and knowing what to do, well, this athlete will be top of your list, and he's top of the race right now as he heads towards that 50-minute mark, which will be inside 5 kilometers of running for the athletes of the Netherlands. Charlie Kohoog, who makes a turn now, he has a little look, and I expect him to do that just to get a time check on Podolski behind him. Where is he? What's the time check? How's he looking? Almost probably looking at the whites of his eyes and thinking, does he look like he's dropped off? Is there anything for the chaser behind? But it is the athlete that is a multiple national champion. And he's someone that is just experienced over 5K, 10K, half marathon. And interestingly, dipping into different distances. And 209 also in personal best as well for the marathon. That performance last year as well, 209, was in Amsterdam, 10th place. So 209 and Olympic Games. So good recovery. I mean, I always think people recovering from the Olympic Games in August and coming back and running a 209, top 10 in what is always a competitive Amsterdam marathon. So, and he'd be delighted that he is showing even more powers of recovery. As the elite women, you can see them on the screen on the right-hand side of your split screen. The producer's doing a great job here, getting us some great images. And it is Maria Mazdarenko in the black. It's Sola, the former national champion of Spain, in that pink or purple. And it is Nora Zabel as they all pass 15 kilometers. The three of them, 51:30. And let's have a look what that sits on the time check for them. So they have dropped out now, 72-minute pace. So the course record is not going to be threatened. This is going to be a race now. They're running around about 72:30 pace. So this is a race, and Sola is quick as well. A 2:24 marathon best in Seville. So strength and speed. 25th in those Olympic Games in Paris. But Nora Zabel didn't wait, didn't hang around when she ran in Carlavara a few weeks ago. She pushed the pace on there from the very early stages. And, well, I wonder whether she's biding her time today or whether Sola has just had a better last 2 weeks. But the other athlete there, right at the front, is Maria Mazdarenko, the Ukrainian, who just shakes her arms, just looks down at the ground. It's a little bit about mind games now. We've still got the company and support of the very strong kind of club runners around them who are running that 72-minute mark. So a few of them will push on, a few will come back to them as well. But the fact we've got 3 runners in this elite women's race, this is fascinating as we go into the late stages. So Mazdarenko, so ran 72:38 in Padova in April. So was also 5th in those European Road Running Championships. So the championship style running now on cue. And I think it's probably that experience of those European Road Running Championships where that's a phenomenal 5th place. And I think that would definitely have given her a load of confidence. Also 3rd place in that European Cup in the B race. I mean, running the personal best, 32:49. And that is probably the experience, the confidence now in Mazdarenko, who just decides just to test Sola and to test Szabo now, as they're 53 minutes and 50 seconds on the race clock. We know they're 5 kilometers there or thereabouts from the finishing line. There'll be many types of training session that they do where they do progression runs, and they even run repetitions 5K and above, where it is about finishing strong. It is about running that half marathon pace, half marathon feel for the latter stages. These athletes will run anywhere 160 up to 200 kilometers per week. They'll be running on multiple of surfaces, whether that's the track, the road, and making sure that they also condition themselves as well for the demands of the marathon, of the different distances that they set themselves up to do. But it is Maria Mazarenko who's pushing the pace on, almost a smile, or whether that's just a little recognition that she's feeling good. Sola, you can see in that pink or purple strip, onto the shoulder of Nora Szabo as they pass 16 kilometers. So that's almost exactly 10 miles in around about 55 minutes. So a little check of the watch. Back to our leader in the men's on the left-hand side of the screen. Khalid Chahoug is leading. And he just doubles back marathons from Amsterdam before Christmas in October to Leiden just a couple of months ago to today now, as we see out the end of May. And, well, he's going to be setting some Master 40 records next year. And we've seen runners go on into their 40s, the likes of Eliud Kipchoge, Kenenisa Bekele, the superb Swiss athlete, Abraham Tedesse. There's been so many strong athletes that have gone on to run some very fast times in their 40s. And this man is getting better like a fine wine with 56 minutes on the race clock. And that gap isn't grown substantially, but I think it's probably grown enough that, barring disaster, and we've seen him be diligent with his drinks, with his gels, he'll check of the watch, and he's so experienced that, and almost you just can see fatigue, but it's not excessive on the face of our Dutch leader out there. As you can see, the gap back to the Ukrainian. Ivan Mattoni. He was looking to recapture his best form. 60-40 World Half Marathon Championships in 2020. But he is the recent Ukrainian half marathon champion. And well, at the moment, he's going to have to settle for the runner-up position. But who's going to take third place? Hendel, I think, had been overtaken by Josh Lund. So this could be the British athlete's best ever race. I'm trying to think, it's been part of national road running success with the Leeds City Club. But on a personal note, this would be a phenomenal set of points in the Euro Hero Series, and also to be on the podium of a RunCzech event as well. But he's got a bit of running to go. There's 57 minutes on the race clock. So probably around about 6 to 7 minutes of running. So around about 2 kilometers. We'll look out for a check on the kilometers. Boardings on the side. You can see families sat out on the side here in this wonderful city. There's 19 kilometers almost on cue. So that's 2.1 kilometers of running to go. So it is just over 6 minutes of running in this South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. The city known for its Budweiser brewery. Also the University of South Bohemia. Historic city centre, beautifully preserved. And don't you worry about any of those cups. This will be spotless as of probably later tonight, if not definitely very early tomorrow. So Mazarenko on the right-hand side of the screen. Szabo trying to chase in the red. But it is Mazarenko who probably looked the most relaxed throughout the race. Bided her time. Alana Ray was the early leader, but dropped off dramatically just after the first 5 kilometers. And Mazarenko, who's just looked so relaxed. She's just almost buzzing with confidence right now. I think, as I said, that European road running performance in Belgium would have given her confidence. The runners that she was beating, the runners that she was around, all of them have probably run a little bit faster than her lifetime best, 71:35, set in Valencia last year. But I tell you what, this is an athlete I think that can go inside 70 minutes and is also showing good powers of recovery at European Road Running Championships. It was in earlier on in the springtime. Also Padova at 72:38 there as well. As I said, fitting in a 10K on the track. So showing that she's got good ability to go from different surfaces and effectively run fast on different surfaces. But I tell you what, Szabo hasn't given it up yet in the red. She was dominant in Karlovy, but I expected her maybe to take the pace out today. She won that day in 71 minutes and looked very controlled. They're running a little bit slower pace today, but whether Szabo, again, whether she's got something in the latter stages, the Mattoni water is being taken and drunk and poured on the head of our leader. The hydration will be so important for these runners. So it is Khalid Chahoug on the left-hand side of the screen. And it is Maria Mazdarenko, the leader in the elite women's race. We're getting some great split screens here. Just showing then Sapahemia what a beautiful evening it is here. Local time, it's just gone 8 p.m. So again, wherever you're joining us from around the world, it's a very warm welcome to the Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice 2025. And you can hear with the noise, with 1.1 kilometers to run. We've just gone over an hour of running. It's around about 60-50 through that split there. So again, probably the best part of 15 minutes and 15 seconds. So metronomic 303 kilometer splits. And you can see the gap is growing behind. No one's going to catch this man on the screen at the moment, unless there is an absolute disaster. But I tell you what, he is so experienced that I just can't see it. I just can't see anyone challenging this previous winner of the Mattoni Karlovy half marathon. And today, well, he's less than 1 kilometer now away from taking the title here in České Budějovice. And he'll be also knocking some good points on to the Euro Hero Series as well. So the locals appreciating their runners and the performance of the elites as the masses on the right-hand side of the screen. They know they've got a little bit further to run to get their finisher's medal. But it's going to be about top spot on the podium for the athlete in front. Such an experienced athlete. So a European 7th place finisher back in 2012. An Olympic athlete last year on the streets of Paris. 58 in those Olympic Games. 209. Recovered so well for 10th place in Amsterdam in October. So we're 4th place in the Leiden Marathon. 2:16 in May. And getting some great applause, as he will also know that he's not that far away from the last 400 meters of the race. And for any runners, they know that's 1 lap of an athletics track. That is a chance when you've got a gap like we have on the screen in front of us to enjoy the moment, to soak it up, and to, well, take all of the applause, because he's absolutely deserved it. It's been a superb second half. Bided his time so well. You can see the race clock behind there of the lead vehicle, the Volkswagen lead vehicle, showing 63 minutes and 15 seconds. This World Athletics labeled event, European Athletics certified course. The RunCzech organizers are such great supporters of European athletics. And it's the latter stages of the elite men's field coming towards the last 200 meters. You can hear the tannoy, and you make the 21-kilometer point. So the last 0.1 of a kilometer, a right-hand turn, chance to high-five the supporters into this wonderful old city square. The Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice 2025 half marathon champion is Khalid Chahoug of the Netherlands in 64 minutes and around about 10 seconds. Fantastic victory. The Adidas athlete, again, a big cheer, wearing number 9. The recent Ukrainian national title winner again. He's such an experienced athlete, an Olympian also. Bohdan Ivan Podolski of the Ukraine. He's going to take the runner-up position today. And he'll be absolutely delighted with that. A tired second place. Made the race in the early stages, but had to settle for second today. But again, great points towards his Euro Heroes campaign. But who is going to take third place on the podium? Hendel was there for a long period of time. Serafel dropped back, but I think Josh Lund had moved into third place at 15 kilometers. Mattoni flags being held by the athletes in the backdrop. So we've gone over 65 minutes and 26 seconds. So who's going to take third place? We're in anticipation. Who's going to close out our podium? You can just see the gaps that have grown in the latter stages of the race. That's just how tough and how well the leading duo have been running. They've really pushed it on. And they're into sight. The third place finisher. I think it might be Hendel's come back, or it's the red vest waiting for confirmation. It's actually Petre Weber's run come through. So this is going to be a fantastic third place, wearing 6. Patrick Weber, the athlete, will get a huge cheer. The Czech Republic athlete, he's 63.24 lifetime best. He ran a 2:24 in Prague last year, but he's going to take third place. There's been lots of changes. He's already run 65.40 this year. He's gone past Josh Lung in the latter stages. I tell you what, Josh Lung had a real go for the podium. But an athlete that has already run 29.35 in 2025, a 3-time national champion in Patrick Weber has gone past Josh Lung. But I tell you what, Josh Lung, even 4th place, I think is going to be one of the best finishes of his career position-wise. So just inside 67 minutes for Josh Lung. As the battle for the positions behind now. Looks over their shoulders. Kaspia Sasvir is the Hungarian athlete. The 63.39 from Berlin, an 8-time national champion, has just gone past Stefan Gravel, the Romanian athlete that was ahead of him, I think, for most of the race. Again, a former national champion himself. So many former national champions and current national champions. So those that have won national titles and had records. But looks like some hard races today. You can see Gabriel there just struggling over the line at the end. But now we turn our attention back to the elite women's race. And the gap has grown. And you can see the crowd showing their appreciation for what has been a dominant last 2 kilometers for Maria Mazarenko. So Nazarenko has dominated the latter stages, moved past Scholler. Zabel was the only one that was trying to close that gap. Zabel hasn't been able to close that gap. And, Mazarenko is looking dominant. And I think she's enjoying this. I think she's enjoying her running. It's always nice to see a runner when they're in their absolute flow state. It takes years and years of training. And she's passed 20 kilometers in 68 minutes and 48 seconds. So time check on that. Yeah, it's going to be outside 72 minutes. Or sorry, 71 minutes. It's going to be around about the 72-minute mark. But I tell you what, she will not mind one bit. It'll be about top spot on the podium. It will also be about making sure that those points go into what is a hard fought-for title in the Euro Hero Series. And I'm sure Carlo Cabaldo will be delighted with cheering all of these European runners down towards the finishing line. But Maria Mazarenko has dominated the last 5 kilometers. A race that has seen different leaders. A race that has seen surprises. Alana Ray dropping off. We had Natasha Wilson, who we thought might challenge. Sola dropping off probably last. Szabo, who I thought might push the early pace. But it is Maria Mazgarenko, the Ukrainian athlete, that now is just pouring it on, pushing the pace on. She's inside the last kilometre now. And a chance just to soak up this last 2 minutes of running, and just to maybe even take in the beautiful architecture around her, and the wonderful kind of beauty that is this wonderful city in South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. So World Athletics Road labelled events, European Athletics certified course, organised by RunCzech. So many sponsors, suppliers, supporters. The local organising committee do a great job year on year, and they will be cheering our elite women's champion towards the finishing line as 70 minutes and 42 seconds as celebration for another of our male athletes going towards their finishing line. So I think that's David Vass, who is going to be outside his lifetime best. As you can see, the performances on the screen in the confirmation of that 64 minutes and 9 second win for Chalug and Podaransky, 64.46. And the athlete that finished third was Patrick Weber, the Czech athlete, who ran so well for third place. And again, they'll be delighted to see a Czech athlete on the podium here. But it's going to be top spot of the podium in the elite women's race for the Ukraine. So I think we will be hearing that national anthem playing as the athlete who is going to cross the line in first place. The 21-kilometre marker awaits them, meaning that they've just got 0.1 of a kilometre to enjoy, to savour, to make the right-hand turn towards that finish. She's going to be outside a lifetime best, but an athlete that took a fantastic fifth place in the European Road Running Championships over this same distance of half marathon is going to be the winner today of the Mattoni Running Festival České Budějovice half marathon. A fantastic win there by Maria Mazgarenko of the Ukraine. Sola's got up for second place, close that gap. So Sola is going to take second place. So another second place for Sola in a RunCzech event. So in a European Heroes event. So she's going to score very well. And it's going to be a third place for Nora Szabo. So her first place from Karlovy is going to be supported with third place today. But your elite women's champion, Maria Mazgarenko, fantastic victory for the Ukrainian athlete who takes the title here in České Budějovice. And I tell you what, that is a superb performance. You can tell it's been tough out there for the athletes. You can tell the gaps that have grown. But there's been athletes that have found the conditions slightly tough. Others have managed it better than others. As the athletes come down towards their own personal best or finishing time. So we've had our top three home in the elite women's race. So looking out for Wilson, who was in fourth place. And then the chasers behind, a previous record holder and winner, Nemchenko, who was expected to be up there. But, did drop back in the very early stages. And whether Alana Ray does finish today, she was back in fifth place behind Wilson. But might be a, hopefully we do see her back again. Such a talent. And an athlete that is just so experienced. But, maybe this is just a little road bump in her running journey. But no road bumps. I'll tell you what, flying on an absolute crest of a wave. Maria Mazgarenko, Ukrainian champion, will be absolutely delighted with that. And the men's champion, what a run, Chalug of the Netherlands. 64 minutes 9 seconds as Wilson finishes there in full place.
Halo na slovíčko, pojďme si popovídat o našich tělech a pocitech. O tom, co nás posiluje a co nám prospívá. Mluvme o ženském zdraví. DM, zde jsem člověkem, zde nakupuji. Získejte 200 extra bodů za váš první nákup se Scan & Go za 200 korun a více.
Mattoni už není, doplň minerály. Mattoni už není, doplň minerály.
Jako vždycky?
Mattonizováno.
Vaše tělo se žádá vyvážené minerály. Mattoni je dodá každý den. Mattoni je život.
So welcome back.
Halo na slovíčko.
Mattoni running festival České Budějovice 2025. We've seen some fantastic elite finishes across the wonderful city square finishing line here in České Budějovice. And then we will be going on to the presentations for the first, second and third elite men and elite women. And also it will be the top 3 in the Czech Republic as well will be awarded their presentation as well, as the masses then will continue to cross the finishing line this evening. What is a celebration of fitness, a celebration of well-being, and this festival České Budějovice of running. And earlier today we had the Vodafone 5K run. We had the family and Bambino races. There's also been runners taking part in the relay today, 4 runners. So they'll be finishing, probably feeling slightly fresher, I would have thought, than some of our half marathon runners. And there's also the 2 runners as well, so sharing the distance themselves as well. So again, the 13th staging of this race, part of the RunCzech halves, 5 races. Collect your medals within a 36-month gap as well. You get a special medal as well, focused on the mass runners. But, there's just been a fantastic atmosphere here. But, just one person looking out for it. I think someone that might be at the start or might be also at the finish. Look out, Karol Poporski, a legendary Czech football player who you might have remembered in Euro 96, taking them all the way to that final. And I think they lost to Germany that night, but then going on to play for Manchester United. So, well, what could Manchester United do with the likes of Karol Poporski in their current climate? And, I can say that as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So it's going to be a big night for European football as well. Champions League, obviously Paris versus Inter. But tonight, in this wonderful South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic, it's been about distance running, it's been about fitness, it's been about well-being. There's some of the highlights from the races, the elite races, men and women, that were in full flow. In Palacerofo, there were some early leaders, Sebastian Hensel, the defending champion, who we expected to be up there, and he looked so good in the early stages, and I'm not sure whether he even finished today. So that would be a slight shock for the German athlete, 2.7 marathon runner, that he dropped off. but it was the athlete from the Ukraine, the fastest man in the field, RunCzech, who pushed the pace on in that black Adidas singlet. As the likes of Hendel and Serafel had to give way, but then it was the orange vest, the Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman in that singlet that bided his time behind Bohdan Ivan Horozhsky, and the check of the watch with the nose breathing apparatus on, pushing the pace on. The 39-year-old Dutch athlete, the Olympic athlete from Paris last year, 209 marathon in Amsterdam. Khalid Chahoug there was a pusher of the pace. Couldn't get rid of the athlete from Ukraine until a really asserted few kilometers, and then it was about him versus the clock, and he really pushed the pace on and ended up widening the gap to the chasers behind. And he was so strong in the latter stages, pretty much 303, 302 every single kilometer, and continued to push the pace on and look very controlled. And I'm excited to see where he goes now in relation to his next set of races. He ran the Leda Marathon back in May, so expect to see either another marathon, another half marathon in probably the not too distant future. But Khalid Chahoug there, a fantastic winner, and he'll be also delighted with those fantastic points that will go into his Euro Heroes Challenge as well. As will the second place, RunCzech, the second place finish today for the Ukrainian 31-year-old who is national champion recently, and this second or third place, I should say, but it's also first place in the race for being the first Czech runner home. So Patrick Weber there, fantastic bit of running, and he'll be absolutely delighted to close out the podium, going past Josh Lunn in the later stages. So Josh Lunn there, the Brit, in fourth place, outside his lifetime best, but probably his best ever finish in this quality, this field of athletes. So 31 elite athletes started. We had 12 different nationalities and so many different national record holders and those that have been national champions. This event sold out again. So, the numbers, 4,500 runners over the different events that take place. And I think it was also 2,500 in the family and Bambino races. So many come from abroad. So 10% of that coming from abroad, 58 nationalities represented. So again, put this on your bucket list of races to get off the beaten track, and download the RunCzech app, get onto the RunCzech website, and we would love to see you here next year. And remember, this year is the 30th edition of the Prague Marathon as well. So there's the top three elite women finishers there. Maria Mazdarenko, Maxarel Sola, and Nora Szabo completing the top three. As I think on the screen there was also the top three Czech female athletes home as well. So we'll wait for confirmation of those finishing times as well. It could well have been Eva Filippova that could have been first of them home, potentially. But again, we'll wait for confirmation of those times and those positions. So I think in the men's race, Patrick Weber was first home. That's 66 minutes, 29 seconds of third place overall. Juri Homolak, the athlete that has a 63.23 lifetime best, was second Czech athlete home. And David Vass completing the top three Czech runners home in third place, 71 minutes and 9 seconds. And it was Lucy Senkarova was second of the Czech female athletes home, 81 minutes and 34 seconds. Eva Filippova was third in 80 minutes and 57 seconds. There's 1 hour, 24 minutes on the race clock. And the runners here will still come down over the finishing line for the next couple of hours. There'll be the pacemakers as well, doing their job with their feather flags. And don't forget, we will have those presentations coming up for our elites, for our Czech athletes home. And it's just a great opportunity to thank our sponsors, thank those that play their part in making this superb Mattoni Running Festival České Budějovice 2025 possible. Without them and the volunteers, nothing of this scale would happen. So you join us back at the podium for the elite men. And that fantastic third place for the Czech Republic's Patrik Weber. Second place for Baran Ivan Hodonský, and the champion for 2025, Khalid Tahug. And there's the third place being presented with a fantastic performance today. There's the official times on the board. Patrik Weber there, 66 minutes and 29 seconds. And, he'll be delighted with that. Baran Ivan Hodonský in second place. Khalid Tahug there, the champion for 2025 here at České Budějovice. Remember the special crystal trophies that you might have heard me talking about earlier. Winners come from the glassworks of Agito. Produces trophies for the Tour de France. And they will sit pride and place on their mantelpiece or trophy cabinet. The České Budějovice half marathon elite men's 1, 2, 3.
Společná fotografie těch nejlepších, abychom si mohli vyslechnout hymnu Nizozemska. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the winner will be played.
So that's the top three there in the elite men's. So fantastic again by Patrik Weber, by Baran Ivan Hodonský, and Khalid Tahug there, the champion for this year. with that time of 64 minutes. And I think it's been confirmed at 9 seconds. So outside course record. So we have to wait another year to chase that course record. That is safe for another year. The Italians, Yassine Ranik's record of 63 minutes and 2 seconds from 2019. So I'm sure a stellar field will be back again next year, hopefully to go inside that. And they're the pacemakers that I've been talking about with their feather flags flying with big smiles throughout the race, and runners will be following them, hoping to get those personal bests. They're the 1 hour, 30-minute paces. And then all the RunCzech races, look out for those feather flags, whether it is over the half marathon, marathon distances. And look at that, they were almost exactly on the money. So if you were following those, and probably because of the time it takes to get over the start line, so many of these runners coming in now will be breaking that 90-minute barrier. That for many of them, that's what their training would have been about over the last few months, over the last few weeks. So just again, a big thank you to those volunteers, 594 volunteers that make the event possible. Apparently, it was 1,451 of kilograms of bananas eaten, I think, as and 831 kilograms of oranges. And there's 15,000 litres of Mattoni natural mineral water that will be hydrating our runners before, during, and after. So the Willigan isotonic drink, sorry, I think they're going through 4,500 litres of that as well. So yeah, so many people apparently on the day of the race. The most popular name, Camilla, with 13 runners and 9 participants with their birthdays today. So happy birthday to each and every one of those runners, but also the oldest participants. Got to give them a shout. Trevor Wallander, 17 years young for the Brits, and Louise Volleman-Vazat is 73 herself. So again, congratulations to both of those runners, showing that there's no barrier to taking part in the half marathon distance. So age is but a number. And remember, a winner in the elite men's was much older, I think, than some of the rest of the elite field, showing that experience and age definitely plays into the advantage. So still the runners will come down this home straight in this wonderful city centre here. So protected by its heritage and protected by the building rights that are on here to make sure that it does stay looking and is a natural heritage site. The site here, I would say, Matala, the second city centre, main square. As the runners coming over 15 kilometres, so they've still got probably the best part of 30 minutes of running. This is probably the 2-hour crew right now. You see some of the runners that have either been waiting or gone on their way in the relay. Again, huge amount of organisation by the RunCzech team on those different changeover points as well, making sure that they're super safe and the runners are going on their way at the right time with the right people. So 1 hour, 33 minutes on the race clock. So we're going to cheer our masses on. We've also got the other presentations for our elite women coming up very shortly. I hope you have really enjoyed our coverage of this wonderful evening in this southern Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. And again, if you do like evening races, then the Czech Republic is probably one of the locations to head to. Download the RunCzech app. So also go to the website, as there's another runner coming in, and I think setting one of their runners on their way to the changeover point. So checks of the watches. It's a tough distance, the half marathon. And you can see for some runners just doing the 5K relay that it can also be a tough distance. Many of them part of the corporate world. So this could be the longest they run is 5 kilometers. But again, great to run it as a team. And again, just to be part of so many people in today's event. Now back to the highlights of the elite women's. Alana Ray was the early leader. She looked great through the opening exchanges. We thought Alana Ray was back and she was signaling, she was pushing the pace. And I thought, well, this is the Alana Ray that we wanted and thought that could be back. But then there was a change and the pace upped and there was a drop off in the middle of the pack. So Wilson was still there at this point, but there was some big changes to come. Wilson started to drop off. So Natasha Wilson off the back of that group. And you can see the purple of Sola, but it was the, the confidence, the figure of Maria Mazdarenko, who then just decided then that was, almost time to go to the front. The Kalavari champion, Szabo, in the red, was also putting up a really good fight. She's in really good shape. But it was Sola on the inside, second at Kalavari. And it was Szabo, the champion there, that had to give way to this athlete in form. Great performances in Padova recently. Great performances on the track with that 32.49 third place in the B race at the European Cup 10,000 metres. But it was that 71.51 fifth place at the European Road Running Championships in Belgium that gave her the real confidence in the latter stages. So the Ukrainian national anthem will play. The Ukrainian national flag will fly high for the athlete. That it was almost like a smile for the last few kilometers. I really hope it was, because she absolutely enjoyed her running. And as the RunCzech team say, all runners are beautiful. And this was a beautiful sight to see. A smile from a runner in form. There's Sola in second. But it was Maria Nazarenko who took the tape, who took first place. And will be delighted with Mattoni running Festival České Budějovice half marathon title. And there's the presentation. Nora Szabo there on the right-hand side of the screen, taking third place. Maxel Sola in second place on the left of your screen. And the champion for 2025, Maria Mazdarenko of the Ukraine. And again, they'll get their Agito grass trophies to take home. As the official times on the screen there, Mazdarenko, Sola and Szabo, 72 minutes and 16 seconds, the winning time. Third available presents for the winners were given over by the partners of the event, City of České Budějovice a Vodafone. Dámy a pánové, na počest vítězky zazní ukrajinská hymna. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the winner will be played. The Ukrainian national anthem there, playing loud and proud for our female elite women's winner, Maria Mazdarenko. And look out for this athlete over the next few months and over the next part of the calendar year. I think she's going to continue to tear up the roads in Europe, and that Euro Heroes title could be on her bucket list. We'll have to wait and see what the points are like for Szabo for Sola, because they're going to be very close as well. That's going to be fascinating to see where they sit in those Euro Heroes point standings after 2 races. So 1 hour 39 minutes on the race clock. It is 8:40 local time here in this wonderful city in České Budějovice. And it still welcomes all of the runners home across the line. And what's been a busy day of running, the Vodafone 5K run earlier today. We had the Bambino runs, the family runs as well. And there's the top list of the elite men's. Kali Kajug there. He was a fantastic winner from the Netherlands for the RunCzech. And the athlete in 3rd place, Weber, the first of the Czech runners home. Meshvet closing out the top 10, Ukrainian, in 69 minutes and 17 seconds. So he'll be having a couple of performances in the Euro Heroes series for this year, as will Paolo Serafo, down in 8th place. And there's confirmation of Maria Mazarenko's winning time, 72 minutes and 16 seconds. Sola, 72 minutes and 19 seconds, 13-second deficit there. And Szabo, 72 minutes and 43 seconds, and then a 2-minute gap back to Natasha Wilson. And then the battle then behind the first of the Czech athletes home, Eva Fitmanova there in 5th place, with 1 hour, 20 minutes and 57 seconds. So again, the RunCzech team will celebrate every single runner that comes down across this finishing line. And the last runner will get also a big round of applause. And there's a real celebration, and it is a real festival. As I said, there's been something for everyone, from the youngsters to those running the 5K to our elites at the top end, and the Czech winners presentation to come.
Stačí jeden gigamoment.
Vydrž, jo?
Dýchej.
Spinka. Spinka.
A najednou je celý život giga.
Jo, já to žapnu. Jo, mám to.
Hapneš? Cože?
Emeraldy.
Ať už se ubírá kudy chce. Jedna věc nás v něm vždy spojuje. Vodafone. Gigasíť pro život.
So welcome back to the Mattoni Running Festival České Budějovice 2025. It's been a superb day, and there's still runners to flow over this finishing line for the next hour or 2 hours. And the celebration will be for those elites that have had the performances that they want, and the masses as well. But I'm sure they will all get course side and make sure they cheer every single one of the runners home. We've seen various sets of the pacemakers come across the finishing line with their feather flags, making sure that they get their runners towards their personal best. Lots of selfies being taken, and you can just see the masses are increasing. It's a really popular time for finishes around the 1 hour 45 mark, and different nationalities here. I think 10% of international runners make their way here from all around the Europe, from pretty much the UK. There's got a number from Germany, Austria, Ukraine, India, and Slovakia. And it's great to see the number continue to rise year on year in the numbers. And there on cue, the 1 hour 45 feather flag pacemakers. But don't forget that race clock might show a little bit slower than that, but they would have been behind the start line when the gun went off. It probably would have been a couple of minutes before they got over that start line. So those pacemakers have done an absolutely sterling job. Fantastic bit of work, selfless running. And again, another really important part of any of the RunCzech events are those pacemakers that know the course well. They know their pacing even better, and they make sure that runners get the times and performances that they deserve. It's hard training for a half marathon. You've got to put the long runs in. You've got to be getting out of bed early, sometimes before work. And sometimes you've got to be getting those runs done either in your lunch break or after work when you really don't want to. And it's a tough distance that the body will just about recover from. Maybe not quite as brutal as the marathon, but still, it's an event, a distance that has to be respected. And it's a distance that is celebrated by the RunCzech team. So with their series of half marathons, remember 5 in a 36-month window. And the opportunity to take part also in the super halves, the likes of Prague, Berlin, Lisbon, Copenhagen, Cardiff, Valencia, in that 6-race challenge. I was been chatting to a runner this morning about that as well. That's part of their motivation to get out to another city, to another location. You seem to said to be in the midst of a running boom right now, and that often means traveling and seeing different sounds and sights. So if you fancy South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic, then we would love to welcome you to the 2026 Mattoni Running Festival České Budějovice. And it is a wonderful evening here. Beautiful weather, wonderful atmosphere in this city that is full of so much history. Just 97,000 occupants. And it's really taken over by runners on this weekend. And the locals are out on the streets and both running and celebrating and supporting the runners themselves, cheering. There's different music stops out on the course as well. Loads of different hydration spots, whether that's your isotonic drinks, whether that's your Mattoni, just making sure that you hydrate with that. There's options and opportunities for everyone. And the smiles, some of the younger supporters coming out, I think, of the crowd to run the last part with their family member for those epic team shots at the end, those epic shots that I'm sure will be on the walls of offices, on the walls of the downstairs sitting room as well, of that finishing line. And look at that, a cartwheel to complete that. So I wonder whether that was captured. And was that a loss of a mobile phone at the same time? So I do think when people do stuff like that, how they have the energy to do that. So having run a few half marathons myself, the thought of doing anything dynamic and doing a cartwheel or a forward roll, or people do those big skips in the air, I'm just not sure that my legs would like that. I think the landing or the fatigue or the tiredness, I think that could end up being a bit of a disaster. But fair play. And that was a different finishing line experience. And I would have thought the photo from that is going to be pretty spectacular as well. As we welcome home even more finishers here. The České Budějovice half marathon is just complete now. 13th edition of the race. The elites are home, but it's all about the masses now. The celebration, you can see people with their punch in the air. They're celebrating themselves, stopping their own watches, even though we've got them covered with their timing. So again, if you are following anyone, then do head to the RunCzech app, download it. If you haven't downloaded it already, head to the website, check out the next lot of fixtures. So the next one, 14th of June, the Mattoni half marathon, Olac, that will be, again, a superb race. And then on the 20th of September, the Mattoni half marathon in Ulster and Le Bern. That is the 4th race in the European Heroes Series as well. So if you're following the European Heroes Series, they're the next 2 races in that series. And then if you want to check the RunCzech series out of races, there's so many of them to look for and to be part of. And yeah, even if you want to get out and celebrate and support the 30th edition of the Prague Marathon this year, and again, just that celebration from the RunCzech team. In 2019, they celebrated its 1 millionth runner, and now they're even up to 1.47 million runners. So their quote and their statement is, "All runners are beautiful," and I couldn't agree more with that. So Carlo Cobaldo will be delighted with the 30th edition. Remember, the founder of the Prague Marathon back in 1995. And whether he would have seen RunCzech or the rise of the likes of the Euro Heroes Challenge as well, that's something that he's been pivotal with. But also just the number of races around the Czech Republic and the influence and impact. And they always aim to have a 5 kilometer or similar distance run as well, just to capture the imagination and the fitness and the opportunity for those that can't complete the longer distances, but also the family runs and the Bambino runs as well. They are a firm fixture and an absolute must in any RunCzech event. But again, they host the events not just for the elites, not for the masses, just for the families, but also the locals as well. The people that feel that they are part of the race, part of the event. And it's about growing the community and about getting people physically active, whether it's inspiring the youngsters, the next generation, and about giving your older runners that platform, that opportunity to and reason to keep running into the latter years. It doesn't matter what age you are. And if you haven't even started running yet, it's never too late to pick up the cheapest pair of shoes, get out the door, and to do a little bit of run walk to start, and then maybe you could find yourself completing even a 5K distance, and then who knows, it could end up being the half marathon or even the magical half marathon distance. So that race in Prague, the marathon, will see 16,000 runners again, and many of them coming from abroad. And that's something as well with running, that it really brings people to different corners of the world, of Europe, and to places they maybe not go to, and to see and experience different weekends. But I think we're back to presentation. I think we've got our Czech runners being celebrated next, with our men and women top 3, I think, about to make their way on to the podium. So again, it's a great opportunity and celebration of the local and national runners of the Czech Republic. Gives them a soundboard, a opportunity for their own sponsors and showcase their own performances. It definitely does help the development of a national country. And Damian Vic was such a popular winner of the Mattoni Karlovy half marathon a couple of weeks ago. It was just phenomenal to see the international steeplechaser, who has already got on and raced the steeplechasers a couple of weeks later. That's why he wasn't here today. I'm expecting to see him in another race later on in the program, having won the first of the Euro Heroes 2025 race calendar. I'm sure he'd look to come back and get another half marathon under his belt to take that title. And wouldn't that be a popular Euro Heroes winner? And I'm pretty sure Carlo Cababo would be delighted with that. Now up onto the podium. It's our top 3 men and women in the Czech Republic. So third place was Gabriela Radotova. I think the men's third place was David Vaz. Well done to David Vaz in 71 minutes and 9 seconds. Second place, men, Yuri Homolak. And in the women's second place was Lucy Sekulova. And the champions, Eva Flipanova, 80 minutes and 57 seconds in the women. And third place across the elite men's finishing line, Patrick Weber, 66 minutes and 29 seconds. So that's your podium in the men's and women's top 3 home of our Czech runners.
Dnešního českého souboje v rámci Mattoni maratonu České Budějovice. The member of the Council of South Bulgaria Region and the Civil Council of České Budějovice.
It's going to be men, it's going to be flowers, it's going to be a photo opportunity.
To the best 3 ladies from Czech Republic and the best 3 men representing our country.
And again, our sponsors and suppliers are delighted that they're able to support us in the presentations. It's a real celebration of it's a team effort. RunCzech are very big about it being a team effort, about everyone playing their part. Mattoni, the title sponsors, the likes of Adidas and other partners as well. It's vital in the series, in the races, in the opportunities, and our celebration of running and fitness. And they get crystal trophies as well, don't you worry. Look at those, they look spectacular. Agito. Again, we've seen those presented to our elite athletes. We saw them presented at the Mattoni Kalavari half marathon to our Czech runners. So I'm sure the Czech runners here were having a look, thinking, I hope they get presented again. And look at them. They are absolutely spectacular. You wonder sometimes for our international runners how easy it is to transport those on their different flights or trains or buses. So hopefully there's a big box for them to be kept very safe. And so they do make it home to those mantelpieces and those trophy cabinets. But they are absolutely stunning to look at. And Agito there are proud to present those crystal trophies. And celebrating with their Mattoni natural mineral water. That's great to see. I love that. I love that. Who needs champagne when you've got Mattoni? And get hydrated at the same time. Superb.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the Czech Republic will be played.
And then the national anthem of the Czech Republic. And that will be a very warm sound to those 6 athletes on the top spots of the podium. So I'm sure they'll continue to hydrate into the evening. I'm sure they'll end up maybe getting a few more miles in for a bit of a cool down. And then it will be back again for the next challenge, the next race. There's the big Czechs. Again, try and take that to the bank. I'd love to see them try and take that in. Who has Czechs now anyway, the bank? It's all electronic, but fantastic. Great shots of their social media accounts. And I'm sure we'll be seeing those. And they're great memories for them to have. And look at that. They've got so many prizes, and so they should. Celebrating the Czech runners with great pride here. Look at the square. Wonderful city square here. And the party and the atmosphere will continue to build into the evening when we celebrate every single runner across the finishing line here in this main square. The Bohemian architecture, it surrounds us here at every single turn. There's 2 hours, 2-hour mark. Most of these runners will be inside 2 hours, being that they started behind the main starters. So this is a closeout of what's been a superb evening here in what's been a wonderful 2025 Mattoni Running Festival, České Budějovice. It's been a celebration of our elites who they're coming home in first in the elite men's, and it was Maria Mazarenko taking the elite women's title. But it's the masses now that we're going to celebrate coming down across the finishing line. And again, those points have gone into the Euro Heroes Challenge for 2025. And we look forward to seeing our next European athletes duking it out over the half marathon distance. And we will see you at next year's České Budějovice Festival of Running. Goodbye.
Halo na slovíčko. Pojďme si popovídat. O našich tělech a pocitech. O tom, co nás posiluje a co nám prospívá. Mluvme o ženském zdraví. DM, zde jsem člověkem, zde nakupuji. Získejte 200 extra bodů za váš první nákup se Scan & Go za 200 korun a více.
Mattoni už není, doplň minerály. Mattoni už není, doplň minerály.
Jako vždycky?
Mattonizováno.
Vaše tělo si žádá vyvážené minerály. Mattoni je dodá každý den. Mattoni je život.
Cílová rolinka napísaná pro výjimku více se padl, se kterou například něco takovou, protože potom už Budějovice. Radnice Českých Budějovic. Aby měli každý vyhležitý, kteří zvládnou dnešní porci práce nachystanou svůj parádní medaili připravenou až do toho místa, kterou se budou každého terapičního vystavit za to, protože tam bude platit, že závodníci budou svůj medaili vytvořit tak, jak se bude ptát. Ona mohla nežovat, my tu dobu nešla, že jste ho platil, která bude to fůjá, Orange carpet and draws the finish line to pick up the finish and gain the medal for the finishers. The České Budějovice in the Bulgaria region. The part of the chamber from the once the medal board. It's not only the reason why I think it's the best thing to do. It's in it. We get the challenge. So what we now getting ready to cross the finish line and be on the orange carpet in the challenge street. It's the man who's coming. It was 21 kilometers and 97.5 meters. Samozřejmě že to je jeden z posledních roků, které závodní měli posledné poznatí důvěry, zhruba 17,5 tisíci kocí. Samozřejmě závodí na to, jak je to velký, jaký má vědecký styl, jak to znamená rozpádat prací, ale zhruba 17,5 tisíci roků. Potřebujete proto, abyste dotáhli svůj parlamentní maratonský boj, větší jednoduchý boj. A to cíle nájde. Pokud šli to typu, tam úplně a 11 minut, to znamená, že máme ještě skoro 50 minut, než tam máme kompletní. Na začátku cíle je slušně rozhodně, ale to znamená, že všichni ty kandidají do cílování a všimněte si toho, jak to prostě vydat. Jdou po 2 hodiny 10 minut. To, co máte, teď to je očima náhodné srovnání, které přijde pár desítkrát 7. Všimněte si, jak je teď u nás celá trojka. Zkuste si to mentálně vyfoulit. A pak se k tomu vraťte od té hodné, které se vyfoulit. A uvidíte, jak bude obrovský rozdíl. Když těsně od 10, a tak když si na uvidíte ten obrovský rozdíl. Závodník se dostane, to vidíte, když musíte do čtvrtého. Je hodně už musíme jít všechny závodníci a závodníci, že se vedou cíle. A tak hodně věděl, tak je čakuš. Jako jsme přijít na toho výrobu, že je závodník do cílování. Se vydáme do a to je přesně to, co děláme na vlastníte. Když se podíváme na vážený pohled, je to pohodnáto, je 30 sekundami, tak bylo vyročené sámě. A to je to, o čem je to vlastníte. Se k tomu důsledku. A proto je celá řada manažerů týmů, které chtějí běh se nezvančejí, protože ten běh se absolutně nedá se to žádný způsobem se pochopit, protože alespoň někdy se aspoň trochu třeba na kole dá snést, na růzky se dá snést, to bude se prostě nezadá. A v této týmu to prostě člověk dá to povahu. A proto je to tak obrovská příležitost posouvat se díky dál mimo tě, aniž to bude tam dole. Je to pomáhá. Pomáhá, pomáháme velmi samozřejmě udržovat dobrou sourodnici, dobré zdraví, ale hlavně taky jenom čistou, ale hlavně silnou mahu, protože to se zakrce nebudí. A když se vydáte jakýmkoliv směrem, a když to bude cokoliv, to se má rozmyslet. A tohle se hodí bude vždycky. Good luck. There is no question there, so hopefully we will be ready for the next stage.